Welcome back to the show. Gowthorpe and Kelly on your TV. Our next guest is a coach, a business coach, a speaker, author, podcast host. Shawn Shepheard grew up in the nation's capital, now in the GTA. Welcome to Gowthorpe and Kelly.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a big title, business coach, speaker, author. What do you do?
So the long and short is I work with family-owned businesses that have had a tremendous amount of success long before meeting me. So I don't work with startups. They want to continue to grow without working 24/7. And the honest truth is the hard work of roll up your sleeves, do whatever you can to make it happen, starts to work against you at a certain point when you're trying to grow and also have a life outside of work.
How do people know when they've reached that point? When they're like, okay, I'm really good at what I do, but it's no longer feeling good for me?
I think they hear the people closest to them, their family, their spouses that are tired of them being at home but not being at home, going to a restaurant, sneaking off to the washroom to check their phone, haven't gone on vacation. They know that they need help, but they don't know the first step. And I work by invite and referral only, and usually what happens is they talk to other owners, other family-owned business owners that get it. And they say, hey, like, what did you do? And they say, well, first thing is self-awareness, that I needed some help. They had the courage to make a phone call. And then usually it is like, well, who do you work with? And then that's when I get the phone call.
So you consult with primary family-run businesses. Mm-hmm. I would think a family-run business would be the toughest to break through because they like to keep things within the family and confidential. Is that fair?
I think a little bit of both, because I worked corporately for 20 years, and one of the things, I know it's really easy to bash corporate, but there wasn't a lot of honesty. There was a lot of, cover my own self and not the honesty of family-owned business. The difference with family-owned business is they will say, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I got to this point. The first phone call with some of the owners are like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm like, well, you're running a $9 million company. You've done a few things right. And then having those honest conversations is the key. And it's totally different category than corporate, and that's why I only work now with family-owned businesses.
What's unique about, and I know this from my personal experience as well, but for you, when you were working corporate versus working with family-owned businesses, what was unique about the family-owned companies?
I tell you a quick story. So I'm a beer league hockey player. I played hockey my whole life. And one of my CEO friends said, hey, can you do the keynote of our closing conference and for their entire staff? And he said, I want locker room, Shawn. I want the guy in the dressing room that, like, I don't want the polished, watches his language. And so I did that, and some of the people liked it, but a lot of them didn't like it because they don't like to be asked the hard questions. They don't want to be shown because, the stock price is doing really well. Hey, let's just play it calm. And I always felt like a salmon swimming upstream because I couldn't fully be me. And I thought, well, that's just the way it is. And then finding the family-owned business community is like, oh my goodness, like that's what they value, those honest conversations, those asking for help and working together. And I always say I work with clients that take their business seriously, but not themselves.
I think you just said something really important there, which is about alignment, right? That for you, in your career, you found alignment. Like you weren't trying to be something that didn't fit for you. Was that a learning process to get there? Or was there like a moment where you were like, I'm not doing this anymore?
Yeah, there is not a Disney movie, so there wasn't a magical moment. And I say this with people starting or wanting career change. Try a whole bunch of different things. It's not a sit there and like, hey, I'm gonna do this and that. I worked with a lot of different audiences. I worked with a lot of different businesses, and then self-reflect on where did you feel alive? What was the community? What were the people that drained your energy? What were the ones that added? Well, then do more of the add. And the working now with family-owned business kind of happened by accident. I joined an entrepreneurial program, which is world-renowned, strategic coach, Dan Sullivan's a good Canadian. And it took me 8 years before I had the courage to say, I'm going to join that program. It was a pretty big investment. And then I met a whole bunch of other family-owned business owners, and the conversations we had over beers after were not like how great we are. It was like, oh, I did this wrong, I did this wrong, and we've learned. So it's the doing and reviewing that when I look at my whole life, I say, I've done a lot of really cool things I'm super grateful for, but there's ones that give me energy and there's ones that don't. And now, you know, it's not just a line. If we don't enjoy having a beer or coffee together, then it's a no to working together.
Experience, and you touched on family businesses. What's one or two things that a family business that you see as a trend or consistent where they lack attention and they're struggling in that part of the business?
I think the owner and the leadership team working, Michael Gerber, it's a good Canadian author, wrote this in the E-Myth, Entrepreneurial Myth, many years ago. The difference between working in the business and working on the business. And too many owners are still like, and it's a pride thing, that they will do everything and they're working so hard, and maybe they're working 80, 90 hours a week, but they're doing the same things. And one of the questions I would say is, when are you working on the business? When are you thinking of the future? And usually they're like, what are you talking about? So that is the biggest thing. If you keep just with your head down, working hard, you're never going to change. The process of growing is actually doing less, not more.
When you're thinking about family-owned businesses, and we had mentioned earlier that, you know, that third generation. So because you're dealing with businesses that could be passed on from generation to generation, whether they're big corporations now or smaller businesses or mid-size. What do you think goes wrong in those situations?
I think when they get away from the core values. So whenever you started your business, you had the values of the owner or the family. And when you're scaling and you scale and you forget the values, that's when everything goes sideways. I see that repeatedly. Scaling with keeping the core values together is so important and challenging.
Well, thanks for joining us. This has been wonderful,
welcome.
good conversation.
I think lots of takeaways for people as well. Really appreciate you
welcome.
taking the time to do this
You're welcome.
and to also give us those areas that we can focus on, not just in our business lives, but also our personal lives, because ultimately that is what matters.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm taking away what Shawn's saying about, we all know it, but sometimes we have to remind ourselves, and you did that today, is health is number one, right?
Yeah.
Health and relationships.
Yeah, 100%.
How are you feeling right now?
I feel awesome. It's, you know, part of me is it feels a bit weird because I don't share a lot with my friends about work because I don't want to be like, oh, well, Shawn gets to do all of these things. Because I worked really hard. Well, and you know, you both know. I worked really hard to make it look like I don't work. And I've been living the semi-retirement life for a long time. So.
Shawn Shepheard, where can people find out more about you?
So ShawnShepheard.com, extra E and Shepheard, SHEPHEARD.com, and I hang out a lot on LinkedIn, post a lot of these videos and tips.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Gowthorpe's book is coming out. We're all anticipating this book. Where are we at with this?
So it's coming out in October. You can look up early pages at drjuliegowthorpersw.com, and there's all sellers on there. There are bonuses for pre-orders as well. And again, it's Heal Childhood Trauma, a self-nurturing therapy approach to better adult relationships, because we don't just delve into the childhood for the fun of it. We delve into childhood because that's what allows us to function well in our intimate relationships, in our friendships, in our business relationships, as Shawn just talked about. If we can't self-regulate, we can't get along with other people. So heal childhood trauma and have better adult relationships. So look it up.
Audiobook coming with it too.
Yes, audio as well. For those of you who prefer to listen rather than turn the page, it's coming out at the same time.
All right, that's it. Another show. Thanks to everybody
Thanks
here
so
at
much.
URTV for working with us. It's Gowthorpe and Kelly.